All right, welcome back. We're back talking about the death penalty and a kind of a medical experiment that is connected to it. This morning, the state of Ohio put a man named Dennis McGuire to death for the 1994 rape and murder of a pregnant woman. The medical experiment aspect comes from the fact that Ohio, like many states, has been forced to use new drug combinations after European-based manufacturers banned U.S. prisoners from using their drugs in executions. So instead of the usual deadly three-drug combination, Ohio used two drugs, a tranquilizer and a painkiller. Apparently was not pretty. McGuire took a long time to die, at least 10 minutes, appeared to be choking during some of that time. This case and others and new calls to bring back firing squads in one state, all of it amping up the debate over the entire system of capital punishment. We're back with the panel. Also, Josh Swigert, a reporter for the Dayton Daily News, who witnessed the execution. What did you see? What happened, Josh?
Frankly, it was very difficult to watch. It started about 12 hours ago, actually. They led Mr. McGuire into the chamber. They laid him down. Before they administered the drugs, they asked if he had any last words. He said he apologized to the family. He told his son and daughter and his son's wife that he loved them all. And he said, quote, "I'm going to heaven. I'll see you there when you come." They administered the drugs, and within minutes, he said, "I love you," very loudly several times, and within 3 minutes, his eyes rolled back, and he was apparently asleep. About 5 minutes went by, and he didn't move. There was no sound. No one said anything, except for his family, which cried quietly. And then suddenly, about 5 minutes later, he began to convulse intermittently, clearly gasping, sort of like a loud snort or a snore, and clearly struggling to breathe. He was unconscious at this time. It's unclear how aware he was of the situation, but that went on for about 10 minutes. His family cried loudly. At one point, one of them said, "How can this possibly take so long?" Meanwhile, the victim's family, the family of the pregnant woman that he murdered 25 years ago, they said nothing. They watched silently. The whole thing took about 20 minutes before the warden finally directed the prison physician to come in. Took about 3 minutes were spent trying to gather vital signs, at which point the time of death was declared at 10:53 a.m. this morning.
Wow. Jeff, what do you make of this?
Well, the Supreme Court has said the executions have to be two things. They have to be effective, they have to kill, and they have to be humane. It turns out it's really hard to do both. We've moved in this country from hanging to electrocution to the gas chambers to lethal injection, but none of them wind up being exactly as they want to be, or as the executioners want them to be, and maybe it's just impossible to have those.
Well, I'm just going to be maybe a dumb question or obnoxious, but why not have a firing squad? I mean, if you're going to end up killing people, why not do it in a way, or a guillotine, which seems pretty.
Utah, instant. Which is the last state to have a firing squad. Gary Gilmore, was executed by firing squad. And perhaps that may come back. There's an issue of whether that is cruel and unusual, whether that would be in violation of the Eighth Amendment. I don't know. I think